Traditional project management tools do a fine job of helping you organize projects, but too often you end up spending way too much time just managing your project management tool, especially with those tedious, repetitive tasks like copying and pasting and resetting due dates and pinging people for updates and dragging items along and cleaning things up. Any of this sound familiar? Well, I believe that much of that project management can and should be automated. You and your team's time is much better spent on more valuable things like creating amazing work. And so in this lesson, I'll cover what your team should and shouldn't spend time doing, and the common project management tasks that can and probably should be automated. And then I'll show you how to create task actions in ProcessKit, including how to automatically notify someone and how to automatically move a project along in a Kanban board. Then you'll be able to actually see how task actions do the work for you. Here's the thing. There are plenty of things that you and your team should be spending their time on. Things that actually add a lot of value to your business. I'm talking about things like researching, strategizing, analyzing, creating, learning, adapting. But too often we find ourselves and our teams spending way too much time on these lower value management tasks. Things like copying and pasting and dragging a card from here to there, or projecting out future dates and clicking around a calendar, or pinging team members for updates. Maybe you're writing post-it notes to make sure that things don't fall through the cracks, or you're manually following up with people to make sure that something actually got done. The list goes on. It's not that these tasks are unnecessary. Without these getting done, things would be a mess and even more chaotic. But your team's time and your time is worth more. It literally costs your business money when your team's brain power and their energy is spent on this stuff, rather than spending their energy on delivering their best work possible. The good news is that most, if not all, of this low-value management work can and should be automated. In ProcessKit, this is where task actions can be used. Okay, so what are task actions and how can we set them up? Task actions are automated actions that are set to occur immediately after a task has been marked as complete. A single task can have multiple task actions, and many tasks within a task list can have task actions. And of course, you can create task actions at the process level so that they come built in every time we copy a process into task lists on a project. Let's update our process by adding a few task actions. So I've gone back to my processes, and you can get back to that here in the navigation. And I'm going to go back into our new client onboarding process. Now let's open up this first task, and let's go to the automations panel. That's this icon with the bolt on it. Click that. And the first tab here is actions. So let's click add actions to occur when this task is completed. Now this first step in our process is to confirm payment and signed contract. So let's say that every time somebody completes this first task, we always want to send off a notification to notify both our CEO and also our external bookkeeper. So let's set up those notifications now using send notifications task action. First, we can customize the name of this action if we want to. Then let's set up the notification to send to our CEO. That's a person who is already invited as a team member here in ProcessKit. And actually, that's going to be me. But we also want to notify our bookkeeper, and they're actually not a person who is inside our ProcessKit account. So we can just notify another email by clicking here and typing in any email addresses separated by a comma if we have more than one. And we'll click Create Notification to save it. Great, we've set up our first task action, and you'll see all of your task actions listed here. Let's close that, and we'll add just a couple more task actions to some of the other steps in this process. Remember back in our lesson about boards where you customized the Kanban lists in your new client onboarding board? Well, it would be great if we could automatically move our onboardings along in this board at the appropriate times, wouldn't it? Well, we can create a task action for that. When a client has scheduled their kickoff call, we'll want to move their onboarding project over into that scheduled kickoff call Kanban list. So here's how we can set that up. Let's skip down to that step in the process and open it, and then we'll go to the Task Actions panel. This time we'll use a move to Kanban list task action. And we'll select that Kanban list from the dropdown. Now that project would be in the new client onboarding board, and we want to select the scheduled kickoff call list. All right, click Create Action to save it. Now there are a lot more things that you can do with task actions, and just to show you real quick, you can apply another process. You can move a project to another board. You can add or remove tags. You could even send off a webhook to your own custom application and all sorts of other things. But you can dig into all of these and play around with them down the road. For now, let's actually see these task actions work their magic. Now that we've made some improvements to our process, how can we get these latest changes propagated out to all of the active projects that we had previously created? Well, we can do that by going to the process settings and then click on Propagate Process. This will show us the number of task lists and active projects. Off camera, I had created a few more projects, by the way. Now, if I click Overwrite 6 task lists, then all of those active task lists that were copied from this process template will be updated to get all of the latest changes, including these new task actions that we've added. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button now. It'll ask me to confirm, and yes, I want to do that. So now that propagation has begun, it usually just takes a few moments for that to complete, and it should be done by now. So let's go to our new client onboarding board, and we'll go back into that same project that we had created earlier. And now this task list has been updated to include the task action that we added to the first task and the task action that we added to the 5th task. And if we want to actually inspect what those automations were, we could just click that icon to go straight to the automations panel, and we can see that this first task has the notification task action, and we can even make adjustments to it here if we wanted to. And this task has the move to Kanban list task action. Again, we can tweak that if we need to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this first task as complete, which should fire off the first task action. And we can see that down here. And I'm also going to go check my email and see the notification that was actually sent to me, since I was the person set to be notified from that task action. And you can see that here. And in this notification, I can just click this button to go straight back to that project in ProcessKit. All right, so now let's skip down to the other task that had a task action on it that was scheduling the kickoff call. And again, that task action will move this project along in the Kanban list. Let's go ahead and complete this task now. Okay, so this has been completed, and let's go back out to the board to see what happened. So now you can see that this project has been automatically moved into the scheduled kickoff column because we've already completed that task. Pretty cool, huh? Now those were just 2 examples of how you can use task actions to automate the tedious management legwork of keeping your operation in order. There are lots of other task actions that you can add to your processes over time. Now, task actions automate what happens after your tasks are completed. But what if we could automate your team's tasks before they even happen? Next up, we're going to make your process smart by adding conditional logic. Your processes can actually automatically adapt to each unique project. I'm going to show you how in the next lesson.